Need a whipping, that's what we got. So he heard that noise, and I had my book up in front of me, giggling like the rest of them. He came down and said, it's you when he got to me, he didn't ask me, you start beating on him. So 2 or 3 of us kids, we was gonna beat his kid up. That night we laid for him, and he took a different route going home, and never did show him. So we didn't get our revenge.
You didn't get it.
No. That's what I remember most
About school.
That was funny.
Was there one teacher for all those kids, or did they have more?
2 teachers. We had a teacher for the first, second, and third. Another teacher, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. 2 teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And after I got out of school, they had 3 teachers. They had a lot of teachers.
Anything else you can think of that you might want to share about the schools and maybe how they've changed over the years?
Oh, they've changed. The kids don't go to school today. Well, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
They've got all the opportunities in the world to go to college now.
We want to talk now about some of the things that you used to do for recreation. There wasn't any TV. What are some of the places that you might remember that you went to, even as a young man, for dances? And that
Well,
sort
we
of
used to have
thing?
dances. Rowan had a dance hall. We used to have dances up there. And then when this bank building was built in 1923, they had dance hall upstairs. We had dances there on Saturday night. And then later, after I was married and grown, well, they had over Newland Park. We were on this side of the press.
Now, can you explain where Newland Park is or
It's
was?
on 519, just before you cross, right before you get to Carbide Park. Carbide Park's right across the gully. Newland Park's on this side, on the south side. He had dances there every Saturday night. And nice crowd all the time.
Mhm. How long was he in business?
How long was that business?
No, the place you were just describing.
Oh, he was there about 5 or 6 years, and then this kind of folded up. Things took place.
What kind of dances did you do? What type dancing did you?
Well, they had modern dancing. They always had the I guess I don't know how you call it, like they have now, this cowboy music field. Most of the time, that's what it was.
Western music.
Western.
Yeah. What other things did you do for, even as a child, just in the way of fun? Places you went, picnics,
Well, we had picnics and things like that. You create your own fun around home. You get 2 or 3 kids come over, you just fool around, do what you want. Ride bicycles.
Ride bicycles. Were they hard to ride on the dirt roads?
I needed one. Barefoot.
What kind of games did you play? Did you play marbles?
I played marbles and played baseball. You get 3 or 4 kids together, we get a baseball game going.
When did Hitchcock have his first organized baseball team with uniforms and everything?
Well, I've managed a team in the early 1920s for 2 or 3 years. And I sponsored a team. We had, over here where the school is, the Stewart School, we had a ballpark there, a lighted ballpark. And there must have grown up from teenagers played there. We had 4 teams. And we were called termites. Well, the Cecil had a team, they were called the gassers because he was in the gas business. Tate was trying to grocery business. And Landry was a cleaner, so he had a cleaning business. So we had four teams. We played twice a week, nighttime.
What did the girls do for entertainment?
Well,
Dolls?
about the same thing we do, just whatever, they get together and have parties.
I'm kind of skipping around, I know. There were just things I was trying to fill in that we hadn't asked you before. The bio, the Highland bio, I have some questions about it. What kind of creatures or fishes were in there that maybe aren't there now?
Used to the wintertime, the small redfish and small trout would come up to the bio. As far as where I live now, we'd catch them. They'd be about 12 inches, 13 inches long. That'd be in the wintertime. And then after they cleaned the bio out, they had Camp Wallace out here where they cleaned the bio out for drainage. And they have some guard down here and there's things like that, snakes in the bio. Used to have good moccasins, used to go to the yard.
Really? But compared to today, what kind of stuff is in there today?
I don't think there's any fishing in there. Well, here some time back, the oxygen got low in the bayou and a lot of fish died. They were not good eating fish, they were just old scrap fish.
Miss Genevieve one time told me she could remember alligator
Alligators?
out there in the bayou.
When I was a kid, there used to be a lot of small ones about this long in the bayou. Let me see that. Then we had these alligator gars, they were about 2.5 foot long, and the kids would go down there and catch them. One night, with a couple of grandsons and a couple more kids, they caught an alligator gar about 2 foot long, and they tied him up with a rope, tied him to a tree. Next one, they thought he was dead, they threw him back in the bayou, and he swam off. They can live out of the water.
I didn't know
Alligator
that.
gars, yeah.
Do this one.
Yeah, that was Stiller's band.
Mr. Henckel, what can you tell me about this picture?
That was some Hitchcock kids, it's mostly Galveston. They were in the, well, Felix Stiller was director. He taught most of those kids.
And this was in Galveston
Yeah.
rather than here?
Galveston.
Uh-huh. Are they just Hitchcock kids or are there other kids?
No, Galveston, most of the Galveston kids, there's about a dozen from Hitchcock in there.
And it looks like this was at the 1923 Mardi Gras
That's right.
in Galveston. And you got to go to that.
Yeah, we had a parade down there. In the early morning, on 4th of July, it was the Mardi Gras parade. And they had, in those days, they had ice wagons pulled by mules. Well, we were coming down 23rd Street about 8:30 in the morning. And we started blowing those horns, and those mules ran away and scattered the ice all over the street, and we was out there dodging ice trying to walk along the parade.
Were there a lot of floats in the parade and stuff?
Yeah, they used to have good Mardi Gras parades then.
What time of day were they then?
They're mostly at nighttime.
At nighttime?
Yeah.
Okay, and I've got another picture here. We've identified some of the people in
Yeah,
here.
that's the old Hitchcock, they call them the hayseed bed, Hitchcock hayseed bed.
About what time frame were we talking
Well,
about?
that was about 1909, 10, somewhere along in.
And how did they happen to form a band that time?
Just a bunch of them got together, and they all liked to play music a little bit.
Where are some of the things, did they play for different events?
Well, lots of times they'd get in a parade in Galveston or something like that, you know, they'd have a barbecue out somewhere, and they'd come out there and play a little while.
What color were the uniforms? You can't see the color.
They're kind of gray.
Very attractive.
The bottom part's gray, and the top is black.
Can you tell me some of the people in this picture, Mr. Henckel?
Let me take a look at Kansas City. That's Gus Caper.
Mm-hmm.
There's old man Snyder. This is Hippolyte Pertree. What was these? Palmer, Doyle Palmer. And Charlie Calvert was over there on, and another man, I don't know what his name was. This is August Tycard. That's about all I can recognize. This old man worked for me, and he worked for my daddy.
Can you tell where this was taken?
Right by the railroad depot,
Oh,
by the freight depot.
here in Hitchcock?
Yep.
Oh,
This is the first depot, that was not the one that showed up there.
the first depot. Okay. Now got a couple of pictures of churches. I thought maybe you could tell us something about the churches.
Now, this was the Catholic Church, Hitchcock, St. Mary's.
And about when was this built?
That was rebuilt, that church was originally built where 204 and Devil Avenue, it's right on that corner. It was 1,900 stones, damaged pretty badly. It was torn down and built down here off of 519 and Wallace.
Where Medicine Man is?
No, it's where Cleve Howard's welding shop.
Oh, and so.
Well, it's right back in the Medicine Man, right in that area.
And this was St. Mary's
St.
Catholic
Mary's.
Church.
And this church was moved up to where Our Lady of the Lords is now, before the new church was built.
Is that the church that's presently out there, that they moved to Jack Brooks Park, or is that a different
Well,
one?
that was the Alhama Church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they moved that down by, moved this one up where it is now, They moved the Alabama church right next to it, right behind it, used it for a warehouse and a meeting room and things like that.
So this one's destroyed.
This was destroyed in 1900, but rebuilt, torn down and rebuilt. around the
Mhm.
19.
And then it was moved to the present site where they got rid of it or something. Okay, I have another church here. I think this one's still here, Mr. Hinkle. Is this the Union Church?
This is the little Union Church over here on the corner of 4th Street and Neville, I guess it is.
Mhm.
That church was built about 1910 or 1911. And it was a Union church. Everything, everything except the Catholics.
Everything but
Yeah.
that.
Well, then later those branched off, the Methodists and the Baptists built their own.
And it's still,
Now it's just a Union church.
and it's still being in use. And it was built about when, Mr. Hinkle?
It
About
was built about 1910.
About 1910. Picture Mr. Hinkle.
That was about 1921. MWA Orchestra, Hitchcock Orchestra.
And who are some of the people in it? I think I can read the names. Let's see, we've got Walter Tacker, Gus Caper, Leroy Tacker, Charlie
O'Shea. O'Shea.
Yeah, Joe Carino,
Katina.
Katina,
Joe Katina.
Felix Stella,
And Stella was the teacher.
and Gladys Berger is the
Gladys
young
Berger,
lady
she
on the
played
piano.
piano.
Yes. And what kind of places did this band play at, Mr. Hinkle?
In later years, they played for dances here every Saturday night.
Oh.
They got it down to about 6 or 8 in the group, and there was more of a dance orchestra than a band.
Where were the dances held?
In the building that burned, the old bank building.
In the old bank building? Oh, very nice. Now we're going to get to some of your
See, I
business.
started out, was going to play in this orchestra,
Uh-huh.
and I was taking trombone lessons from another fellow, not Stella.
Mhm.
Well, after a short time, his family moved to California and they put me out of teaching. So I'd go down from the gas station, I'd take my horn down there during the day when business was slow and get to blowing. And I was in there just blowing one morning, and an old cow walked up and stuck her head in the door and said, "Brr!" And she ruined my musical career. I put my horn away and
That finished.
I still got it home.
Okay, speaking of the gas station, we
And I
couldn't.
used that horn to scare Dickie when she was a little kid. She
Now, is
just
this the
cut me.
gas station you're talking about? Is it this
No,
gas station?
no,
Was your
this-
other one?
Lulu.
Okay, but tell us about this one while I got the
Well, this is on, after Highway 6 was rerouted. This is the building that's down there now.
Mm-hmm. And the
I
press,
had my soda Plymouth dealership in there. And that gas station.
and this was built about when, Mr. Hinkle?
In 1932, I moved part of it over. This part here, this was built in 1940. The service department built in 1940, just before Camp Owensville.
Mm-hmm. So you sold gas to a lot of soldiers from this place, I bet.
So
What kind of hours did you work?
when they was building Camp Wallace in a blimp base, we'd open up about 4:45 in the morning, and turn the lights out at 9 o'clock, close up. There's Rios working the gas station. We took turns about opening up,
What was the price of gas then?
about 25, 26 cents.
What did it cost to have your oil changed?
Well,
Your oil changed, about what did you charge?
Well, oil was 2 bits a quart, 25 cents a quart. Good oil was 35 cents a quart. Then we had 15-cent oil that Model T's used.
Oh.
I had one Italian customer used to come up, and he used to call me Lottie. Lottie, give me 5 gallons of gas, a quart of oil, and some wind in the wheels. I always wanted the tires there, that one wind in the wheels.
A Texaco station and a DeSoto dealership, right?
I started with Texaco in 1922, on the railroad. And then after I moved over, I went independent. And from then on, until 1940, the Texaco agent was a friend of mine in Lake City. And he came over and he said, "I want to buy 2 new automobiles, but I want a new customer." I said, "What you waiting on?" So I was running about 3,000 gallons a month then, and he bought a new Plymouth and a new Chrysler. And about 3 months later, camp on us, so, and my gallons jumped from 3,000 gallons, it went to 15,000 gallons. So he made enough off of me, and when he had to pay for those 2 cars.
And
But I had the only gas station on the highway, see. Shannon still had over his store, but he had a small pump and he was off the beaten path.
did anybody sell gas in Santa Fe? With the South Alona there?
Mostly around the little grocery stores.
Mhm.
They didn't have, at that time, they didn't have any. See, I had the first drive-in gas station in this area.
In this Hitchcock, Santa Fe
Hitchcock,
area?
Santa Fe area.
You did a pretty good business then.
So it was a 20 by 20 building with a drive-in through half of it.
Okay, now we're going to switch to, I think, the opening day of your lumber company. And, okay. Can you tell me who some of these people are, Mr. Hinkle?
Well, these were customers of mine. This here is Charlie Kalanya. This is Mr. White. This is Dorothy. They're serving coffee and cake.
Dorothy Peterson?
I can't see it. I think that's Harold Meyer behind me. I was over here, my wife was there. A couple of our customers back there were getting coffee.
And what day was this?
That was in 1952.
The opening day of the
Opened
Hinkle
there
Lumber?
when I built a new store. And this is the inside too.
Looked like a lot of people sent you flowers. and-
Yeah, he had a lot of flowers, flower frames.
Mhm, very nice. I think this is another picture of that day. Can you tell us
Well,
what,
these 2 men right here from the Moody Bank, and they're the ones who owned the money's building.
so they had a vested interest in coming out and seeing that everything was okay, I guess. And this looks like
And that was my inside crew.
your inside crew.
Yeah.
Here's the inside crew.
This is Fay. That's Murphy. That's Dick Hopkins, that was my first son-in-law. This is one of them, Neil DM. This Dorothy's in the middle.
Dorothy's in the middle, Dorothy Peterson.
That's back to 1952.
Is this the same day, Mr. Hinkle, when this picture was taken?
Yeah, this is the garage building over on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
See, the part that you showed there was this part up here. This is the service I built on 1940. Oh, wait a minute, this is a lumber yard. This is the cabinet shop here. Over here was the lumber shed. This is the cabinet shop. I built that in 43.
Where people could have cabinets made
Yeah,
and
we
that sort
did
of
all
thing.
kinds of metal work.
Mhm.
Like window frames and door frames, doors, units.
And just to be
Cabinets.
sure everybody knows where this is, will you tell us the
That's on the
location?
corner of 3rd Street and Off Railroad. Part of it's still there. This part is still there. The cabinet shop's still there. The rest of it's been torn down and the building's been built to the side of it.
Okay, and that's opening day, 1952, of the Hinkle Lumber Company.
Yeah, that was the inside.
Mhm.
Opening day of the new office.
I have one more picture.
That's my house when I was building it. I wasn't finished yet when that picture was taken.
No trees.
No trees. We planted trees this year, but planted.
This is the house you're
It
presently
was
living in.
1949.
And that's what you built your
That's where I
house.
live now.
And that's where Mr. Hinkle is. And we've got one more. This group of pictures.
That's my daughter Dickie, the tall one, and the other one's Dolly Munto. That's my Dolly Anderson. That's my niece, my wife's niece. One was our daughter.
Looked like they got along real well.
Yeah.
Is this the one you took to Chicago with you?
We took her and nephew to Chicago. Took 2 of them.
Can you tell us what you did when you went to Chicago? What the purpose you...
Well, we'd make the trip going up on the train, and we'd drive a new car back. See, we'd save enough freight to pay for our trip up there. So we decided to take the 2 kids with us. They got a big kick out of it.